can see from all the time lapses I just showed you, we've made some major progress on the single cab build. We've gotten a lot of that done. A lot of the powder and paint have came in, and the axles are back as we've shown. So we're gonna go over some of the stuff on that and show you all the progress we've made. And I think if we play our cards right, we might have it on the ground by the end of next week. A little bit hopeful on that, but our air tank bracket is about to go to powder. It's in its last stage of, I guess you'd call it, development. We fitted it a couple times and finally decided where to cut it and where we're gonna mount it. So let's take a look. So kind of a little bit of an overview of what we got going on. We've got our 2 compressors and tanks already all fabbed up, pretty much ready to go on the bracket. We've already got all the fittings in, some of the air lines plumbed. As you can see, we Tessa taped it and wrapped it in braided loom. Looks really nice. Got all the fittings in, even got some spare fittings and the drains and all that stuff. So the air tank stuff is pretty much wrapped up, but we've got our supply right here that'll go to the filter, then the filter will go through the filter to the manifold. But anyways, so we've got some of the stuff back from paint. Now, fair warning, I have already seen this from taking pictures. The paint does look like a different color on camera than what it is in person. It kind of looks like a darker blue on camera. In person, it is very much teal. Don't know how much you're going to be able to tell just from watching our videos and stuff like that, but it is very teal. It's pretty close to the King Shock. It's a little bit darker, has some candy in it, a bunch of flake. All turned out really well though. But let's take a look at this beauty right here. So we got the tent job about halfway done. Windshield's done. Still got to do a strip. Back glass has 1 layer on it. We got 1 more layer going on the back glass. But she's making good progress. Let's go to the front. That's where all the pretty stuff's happening. So we've got our shocks hung. Took them back out to put the axle in. We do have the axle in hung, the lower bag mount bolted in, and the shock bolts in. So the shocks are kind of there to stay now. They're in their last stage of fitment. They're not coming back out. And the axle's there to stay. So now we're just putting everything back together, the knuckles, hubs, putting the axle joints in. But let's take a look at the other side because it's a lot more finished. We've started putting a knuckle on it. So there's our upper bag mount. I did the badges in blue. I'm glad I did. Turned out great. There's the shocks mounted. Like I said, the blues are pretty close, not dead on, but the difference between anodizing and paint. But everything looks good. Knuckles are on. Just got to be tightened up. Kind of a little bit of a pain, but it is what it is on that one. Everything's looking good. Now this is not the angle that the bags will have. They will be a lot straighter than that. It's just where the axle is swinging out due to there being no 4-link. The 4-link is supposed to be done this week. You may even see it in this video if I don't release this video till after this weekend. It's supposed to go Friday to pick the 4-link up. But yeah, there's the mirrors too. They turned out really good. Tickled with them. Yeah. Like I said, we got 1 more layer of tent getting thrown on the truck. Kind of show you all that. So for the tent setup, we know it's not very conventional, but the truck is not going to get drove. So the windshield is a layer of 20 with a 5% strip. The sides are 25 with 5 over them. It is just 25 at the current moment. The 5 has to still be added, but we will be doing that here soon. Let's check this out. So I was really worried about my rear axle and shock fitment, but it's looking like everything's going to fit great. So not nearly as worried about it now. And we've got this axle in here. Obviously it needs to be rotated up and connected to the bag mounts, but I wanted to wait till we had the 4-link to kind of do it all at once. Get some pressure off these shocks and hopefully everything will fit. The only thing I'm worried about really is this resi right here. Getting close up here in the frame if I air it out. So as soon as we do get the truck done and we start playing with the bags, We're gonna have to check some clearances, so, you know, drop the bag, see if, you know, this resi is gonna hit, see if the front resi is gonna hit. It's one of my main concerns, but everything looks good. Got the train horns, drive shafts, everything. But that'll work. Let's get back to work. What's going on, everybody? So we've got the front 4-link installed from Stryker finally. We got that in finally. Got our sway bar kit installed. All our front hubs are together. The front axles are in. Bag kit is ready. We do have the bag unhooked because it's extended right now. We're not ready to put air to it, but still got to check some clearance issues with this sway bar kit. It's a little bit close to the bag, and I'm worried that once it's inflated, this is going to be close, but we will see. This may slide forward a little bit, but we'll see when we get closer. So I was gonna wait until another day when I had some help to put this 4-link kit on in the rear, but I got a little bit impatient and just ended up doing it myself, by myself, which is not an easy task. But with 3 ratchet straps and a lot of motivation, we finally got it. Well, me, not we. But there's the Stryker rear 4-link. Really happy with how this is all turning out. It looks like our clearances are going to be really good on the shock body as far as the frame goes. As you know, on the 2500 trucks, the shock goes through the frame. I'm not a big fan of it. Wish it didn't, because it creates a lot of clearance problems. But we even jacked the jack almost all the way up and compressed the bags almost all the way, and we still weren't really having any clearance problems with the shocks. So I don't think we're gonna have any problems there, but it all looks great. That bumper turned out really good. Got our air tanks fabbed up. But super excited with it. We still got to tighten everything up. I'm gonna leave it all loose till we let it on the ground. And we're still waiting on some parts to get back from chrome plating. Our diff covers and our steering kit are still not back. This side, we might have to adjust on the 4-link a little bit because this side, the sway bar seems to be a little bit farther from the bag. Maybe due to the mount on the frame, how it's mounted. But this is kind of how we want it to sit. This sway bar kit is a little bit longer than the stock sway bar, so we may run into some clearance issues on the bags, but that's something we'll tackle once we get there. No big deal, we'll figure that out. But the 4-link looks great. It's not a fun kit to install by yourself. I did do it, but I would not recommend it. I have done 2 or 3 kits of these already, so it wasn't really that big of a deal, but it's still just kind of a pain holding all the bolts up and holding the bracket up. But that's on, everything's ready. We're about ready for air. We're still waiting on our front track bar. We got a flight fab one, we're waiting on it. And then we got our rear track bar over here. Excuse the mess, we just opened up all this lift. So this is our Striker fabricated rear track bar. It does have matching face plates to match the rest of the arms that Striker has built for us. So that'll kind of tie in the back pretty well. But only thing I'm worried about, again, is bag clearance. Hopefully we don't have any clearance problems back here when we drop it either. These bag kits were kind of designed to work with your stock control arms in the rear. So these aftermarket ones are a little bit bulkier. The control arms themselves aren't really a problem. I did add a little bit of an extra measurement to them to kind of help with the rear end angles. But the bag kit looks pretty straight. Not too worried about that. We do need to get our track bar in though. But I think we'll have her on the ground by the end of this week. Hell yeah, turning out good. May have went a little bit too dark on the tent, but gonna work on another video for y'all. This one should be dropping on a Sunday. I think that's today. But thank y'all for watching.